taking out 20,000. Is it possible? Sure. I'm not going to say it's impossible for Bitcoin to go back to 20,000, but you would think that if it was going to take out that high, it would have already done so. I mean, what's stopping it? And from my perspective, whatever's been stopping it in the past is going to continue to stop it in the future. So I think it's more likely that Bitcoin's not going to take out the highs, although everybody gets excited. I mean, we did get above 14,000 earlier today. Maybe we'll be back above there again. But there is a lot of resistance. And so you Bitcoin bugs have better ask yourself, where is it coming from and who's doing the selling? But, as far as, when that market's going to crash, again, I don't know. You got to ask yourself one question. If you're in Bitcoin, do you feel lucky? Right? Well, do you? If you feel lucky, then you could buy some Bitcoin. But I wouldn't press my luck. If you just want to go with the odds, if you want to go with history, then just bet on gold, because then you don't have to worry about getting lucky. You don't have to worry about timing it right. You're going to come out on top with gold. When the music stops, you win. If you're in Bitcoin and the music stops, you lose. All right, next question. This is from CW. Another crypto question. You don't like crypto, but it has only one purpose: private money. Bitcoin used to private. Monero is a weak chain, so you need privacy. Ethereum, the second biggest crypto, hands down, mathematical winner. Look, I get the idea that cryptocurrencies can be private, and that is their main appeal. Although, Bitcoin, in order to broaden its appeal to institutional investors, had to focus on its lack of privacy and all the new regulation and scrutiny that would enable it to, be an investment vehicle for hedge funds or pension funds or endowments or those type of institutions. But ultimately, look, the government is not going to allow it. Even if Bitcoin succeeded, it would fail, right? If it doesn't die of a self-inflicted wound, it will be the victim of its own success, and that the government will kill it. I know people think, no, there's no way the government can do it. Look, if the government outlaws it, if the government declares it contraband, if the government imposes big criminal and civil penalties on people who are caught using it, then you drive it to the underground economy. And only, criminals who are going to go to jail anyway would be risking using it. And, what is it going to be worth in that environment? I don't know. But the price could be a lot lower than the price is today. So, in theory, it would be great, but in practice, it's not going to work. So, why focus attention on it? But I know that that's part of the allure. That's part of the attraction. And that's driving it up. That's the excitement that is causing people to buy it. And I think that's going to ultimately, be the undoing of a lot of people, because they're going to lose a lot of money who are buying into this fantasy. But it certainly helps the people who are trying to unload their Bitcoin, because they have buyers to buy it when they sell. You can't get out unless somebody else is getting in. So that's the whole purpose of a lot of this, is to drum up buying. It's pump and dump is what we call it. Next question. Trump will win Florida. Yes, so far, from what I can tell, Trump is winning Florida, which he needs to win Florida. I mean, he's got to win Florida. The thing is, it looks like that he's not winning Texas, which is very significant. I don't see how Trump could win without winning Texas. But he definitely needs to win Florida, especially if he doesn't win Texas. But it seems like Biden is doing really well in some of these other swing states, like Ohio. I'm looking at right now that Trump, managed to win. He beat Hillary Clinton there. And I thought, that he could win those blue collar Democrats, because he promised, to make America great again, to bring back manufacturing. Now, despite the fact that Donald Trump pretended he brought back manufacturing, he did no such thing. Manufacturing is a disaster under Trump, just like it was a disaster under Obama. He didn't change anything. The trade deficits are bigger now than they were when Obama was president. They were getting bigger even before COVID-19. But with COVID-19, they went off the charts. We have never lost on trade as much as we're losing on trade now, right? We are the biggest losers ever when it comes to trade. And so obviously, manufacturing, the industrial belt, they're not benefiting. Again, that's the frustrating part about Trump. Trump just lies and pretends that everything is great when it's not. He's doing exactly what Obama did when Obama was president. And what was so good about Trump is that he was being honest and calling out the BS. He was saying that the economy wasn't good, that the numbers were cooked. That's what I liked about him. Now he's the one cooking the numbers himself. He's the one pretending a lousy economy is great. He's pretending that we're winning on trade when we're losing bigger than we've ever lost before. I mean, it just frustrates the hell out of me to have to witness this. And it frustrates me even more when other people buy into this, who should be calling him out. This is what set the stage. I mean, we made the same mistakes under Bush, and that's why we got Obama. And we made even bigger mistakes by getting behind Trump. And now we're going to get somebody worse. We're going to get Biden or whoever's pulling the strings in this Biden administration. Anyway, let me get back to my questions. At Tim, I don't know how to pronounce this guy's name. He's Canadian. I've invested in Canadian silver miners that have mines in the U.S. If Biden wins and corporate tax and regulations go up significantly, wouldn't this destroy these companies, even at silver prices? Look, yes, if you're in a mining company in the U.S., environmental regulations, other regulations could reduce the profitability of those mines. There's no question. I mean, I think where Biden could have the biggest impact is in the energy, not even as much the mining, but in American energy. I mean, our energy sector is already in trouble. Fracking is in a lot of trouble, but it's going to be in even more trouble in a Biden administration. And I've been very bullish on oil. We've been buying a lot of the global oil stocks recently. I bought more personally. We've bought more for our managed accounts. I think we're getting ready for a major move up in the price of oil. And it's going to be an even more spectacular rise if Biden wins. Because what a Biden presidency means is the U.S. will produce even less oil. And that means the price of oil will be a lot higher because the supply of oil will be a lot lower. So with less production, you get higher prices. I think demand in the U.S. will be subdued due to this protracted recession, depression that we'll be in. But I think demand is going to boom outside the world. And I think production is going to go down too worldwide. I mean, there's no question that production is going to go down, but it will go down even harder in the U.S. And it's not just people in the oil industry. It frustrates me when I hear the people who are criticizing Biden, where he wants to declare war on the U.S. oil industry, about how this is bad for the people who work in that industry. It is. But you don't want to just focus on how it's bad for people who work in oil, because that's only, a certain, percentage of the voters. But all the voters buy oil. Everybody uses oil. And so anything that reduces the production of oil increases the cost. So everybody is going to suffer. People in states that don't produce any oil will suffer from the Biden proposals to drive up the cost of energy in this country. And not just the energy you use directly, but the energy you use indirectly. Because so many products that you buy require energy, both to produce them and to transport them. So the entire economy ends up being weaker because of these anti-energy policies. So don't just say, oh, it's bad for the people who lose their jobs. It's bad for everybody. And a lot more people will end up losing their jobs because the U.S. economy is less productive and less competitive as a result of these added regulations that lead to less production and higher oil prices for everybody in America, including American companies that have to compete, globally on price. And their prices are going to go up because their energy costs are going to go up.